Hey everyone, my name is Colby Uva, and today I'm covering the topic of what's the fastest way to grow my South Florida business when cash flow is tight. All right, so if you run a business in South Florida, Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, the Florida Keys, rent and labor is getting more expensive. Competition is getting more intense. Everyone's the best on Instagram, and this is not new for Miami because that's kind of a culture that Miami's had for a long time, or at least the people move here to expect that. Leads can be seasonal, tourism, snowbirds, boating season, summer slowdowns, and buyers move fast, but they shop around. When cash flow is constrained, the standard advice isn't going to be helpful to you. Run ads, has a time and a place, and it can be applied here correctly. But when you're running ads, you're paying every day to stay visible. Hire a marketing agency, usually is a huge upfront cash. You have to put the cash up front, and then they get started on all this work, and it's not going to help you in a cash flow constrained time. Create more social content. Now, the problem with social content in a lot of different places is it has a short half-life. Different platforms, basically, you post it and then it's dead the next day because it gets just lost in the noise. You put it on your Instagram story, boom, 24 hours, it's gone. Most of the people see it in the first few hours, let's say. The fastest way to grow without increasing monthly spend is to build something that compounds, like compounding interest. A well-designed blog that pulls high-intent local searches and turns them into calls, quotes, bookings, and purchases. Not a blog as in company updates, a blog as in local search-driven sales engine. Why is a blog the best move when cash flow is tight in South Florida? It captures demand that already exists. So South Florida customers are already looking for certain things. The best this service in Miami, the best this service near Brickell, the cost of this service in Fort Lauderdale, same-day delivery in Miami, service for condos. Those searches are people raising their hand like, I want this now. And the blog shows you the moment of intent without paying for the click. It works even better when your schedule is chaotic, right? Because it's still working when everything's going on, right? So if your cash flow is constrained, you're probably also time constrained. So you're trying to free up your time a little bit. Social media demands constant feeding. A good blog post can rank and bring leads for months and years, and that's compounding marketing. Exactly what you need when you can't throw money at a problem. South Florida is a hyper local and hyper specific, which helps you to rank faster. A lot of businesses are trying to compete really broadly, and when you bring it to South Florida, you've already fact-finded. You've already put your customers in different boxes, let's say. So you're not going to compete with a national company that's coming in. Let's just for example, right now you got Amazon coming into Miami, right? But you can do some things better than Amazon in Miami, because Amazon's a large company. They're if they put something on a general topic, they're going to rank automatically, right? But if you get specific on your topic, you're going to rank well there. All right, so think about your neighborhoods that you're in. Brickell, Doral, Kendall, Coral Gables, Wynwood, Miami Beach, Aventura, Hollywood, Las Olas, Delray Beach, West Palm Beach. Just think about that. Think about it. Property types. You got condos, high-rises, marinas, HOAs, parks, all this kind of stuff. Customer segments. You got snowbirds, tourists, yacht owners, charter operators, contractors, grocery stores, wholesalers, all these kind of stuff. Yeah. So what a well-designed blog means and how it actually creates sales. So a blog is a sales engine when it does three things. Targets buyer intent topics, not 5 reasons why we love our customers, right? You want a post that's going to cover a lot of things within it, right? So you got cost, pricing, this versus that, near me here, what to expect, mistakes, checklists, emergency stuff. That's a great one because it's urgent, right? I need this now. Well, if you answer that question, you took the anxiety down of the customer fast, right? Same day, get it to you now. Permits, rules, compliance, things. When things get local, they get more specific. So if you can help someone in this area, you're going to do well. Is it built as a local cluster? It's built as a local cluster and not random posts. So one pillar. So in another more broad posts, and as you'll see if you look through these videos, you're going to see that some are really broad on purpose, some are very specific, and the really broad ones on a topic though, that's focused on a specific topic, are called pillars, right? They're part of your structure. All right, so the fastest South Florida blog strategy when cash flow is tight, right? You want something to implement here. Pick your money offer. What do you most want? Like what do you want to sell the most? What's your highest margin service? What's your most common repeat job? What's your scalable offering? Your fastest to deliver offering, right? Create one South Florida pillar page, right? So a main guide with anchors, a whole cluster is going to be like, all right, this service in South Florida, pricing, timeline, and what to expect. Right, so in the case that I'm doing this video would be, let's say, all right, hire someone in South Florida that knows South Florida well to grow your South Florida business. How much does it cost? Well, let's say for me, just an intro, let's say with me or someone on my team is going to be a few $100s to a few $1,000s, depending on how much upfront. And I'd rather do the few thousand because, well, I'd like to look at what you have first, see if I'm a good fit for what you have, and then see if give you a timeline of what to expect, right? Cost of what's affecting the price for this service in South Florida, right? Okay, so labor is going up. Rent prices are going up, but there's a lot of demand because a lot of businesses are coming here, right? Neighborhood posts, Brickell, Doral, Fort Lauderdale, what's different? So each neighborhood's going to have its own intricacies, right? So if you're in Brickell, it's the city, it's fast moving, a lot of go-getters, there's a lot of partying, there's a lot of different things, right? You have Doral, you have a lot of families from Venezuela, because we'll see what happens with Venezuela now that Trump took out the Maduro. Hopefully, it brings a lot of people, allows a lot of Venezuelans to go back to Venezuela, but Doral was really built by Venezuelans. Fort Lauderdale, a lot of people from around the country that come there. A lot of white people that come from a lot of like everywhere around the country, and they really don't feel comfortable speaking Spanish. Miami's has a lot of Spanish speaking citizens in it, and it just doesn't feel like home for some people. So Fort Lauderdale is there. It also has a lot of big yachts and stuff like that. So it's a lot of huge yachts that's where they're serviced and all that kind of stuff. Best service for condominiums, for boats, for rentals, stuff like that. Comparing option A versus B for South Florida conditions, right? That's pretty obvious there. What to expect when you hire and provide a timeline. So the result, you're going to pay me on this day. I'm going to get this done here and now, and then you're gonna experience the results at this time. All right. Top mistakes for South Florida buyers make when choosing a service, right? What are some of the pitfalls that you might not know? And this is actually really easy for business owners to do, because as they've been providing their services, they made mistakes along the way, and now they don't make the same mistakes. So by working with someone that's made the mistakes up front, you're going to avoid these pitfalls. Simple as that. You don't have to learn a second time or third time, or whatever like that. Yeah, so emergency same-day services in Miami, what's possible. Hiring checklists, what to ask before you book this service. Common questions for South Florida customers answered clearly. And every post should link back to a pillar post, 2 to 4 posts. All right. Make it South Florida specific. This is where you're going to outrank a lot of your competitors that are like national chains, stuff like that. You're going to want a local proof of your content. So services you actually provide in what's called the Tri-County area of South Florida or the Florida Keys. Neighborhoods you commonly work in. Local constraints, condo rules, HOA approvals, marina access, weather realities. It's hot in the summer. There's in the winter, there's cold fronts, it rains. Seasonality, snowbirds, summer holidays, boating seasons. This turns your blog into something less generic. South Florida is bilingual, so if you speak Spanish, have a freaking Spanish version of your blog. You can create Spanish versions of the same pages, and if you speak Spanish, you're at an advantage because things aren't really translated directly. There's local slangs that come when you're targeting different groups. Same thing in the U.S. If you live in different parts of the country, people talk different. People have somewhat different values, so obviously they're somewhat the same, but there's local intricacies to that. It's often an underrated advantage for you to have a different language in your blog that you're good at, and not just like a ChatGPT translation to that language, because it misses the nuance. How this makes sales while you're busy working on other things, right? A South Florida buyer's journal is going to look like a panic/problem. I need this fixed and I need it fixed now in South Florida. What does it cost? Who's legit? How can this happen now? Who do I trust? This business versus that business. A commitment, call, books, and quotes. That means your phone calls get better. You have fewer price shoppers, fewer just curious calls, more people who already trust you, and shorter sales cycles. When cash flow is tight, efficiency is everything. A realistic execution plan, not a big budget, is what you can do in 2 to 3 hours per week. You're building a real engine here, a weekly rhythm, all right? 30 minutes, collect real customer questions, calls, texts, DMs. 90 minutes, write one high intent post. 30 minutes, add internal links, call to action, and publish it. 30 minutes, share it on other platforms, LinkedIn, email list, partner, local Facebook groups, wherever relevant. Do that for 12 weeks and you'll have a compounding asset, one that grows even when you're focused on operations. Bottom line, when cash flow is constrained in South Florida, the fastest way to grow is not chasing marketing that requires constant spend. It's built to be a compounding asset and captures high intent local searches, builds trust before the call, and reduces the sales friction, and produces leads repeatedly. A well-designed blog is to do exactly that. All right, if you tell me what business you're in, the service versus product, your main offer, your service area in the South Florida area, I'll build a 12-week South Florida blog plan for you. Pillars plus 24 posts with exact titles, CTAs, and internal linking map. All right. So what qualifies me to be talking about South Florida? I've grown up in South Florida. I've spent more than 15 years driving traffic to businesses that convert. High conversion traffic, not just vanity traffic. I've built growth in markets where ROI has been real. Physical product businesses, my business, I've done it here and in Southern California. But I grew up here, and so I see the intricacies between the two places. I've worked on many websites, but at the end of the day, I've grown local grassroots movements around different products.